Hello guys, today we'll be reading Future Hero Race to the Mountain by Remy Blackwood. Chapter 1. You live in the real world. Gerald raced up the 5 flights of stairs to his apartment, but he couldn't escape the memory of his classmates' laughter or his teacher's very angry face. Here we go again, Gerald, Mr. Morty had said. The whole class has followed directions except for you. The teacher crossed his arms. Do you tell us why this drawing of yours is more important than you learning algebra? What makes you so special? Gerald's cheeks has burned with embarrassment as he stood there in front of the class. His deskmate Rhythm looked really sorry for him. The pity hurt worse. Gerald had stared down at the drawing, clutched his sweaty hands, and he wished he could escape into it, even though it was a battle scene between an angry-looking sorcerer and a heroic goddess with lightning coming from his eyes, the same goddess he had drawn so many times. Gerald pushed away the memory as he reached the top of the stairway and stumbled onto the open-air walkway. He rubbed at his eyes, which felt wet and hot. At least his parents were on late shift, and he wouldn't be home. They couldn't always tell when he was upset. They'd make him tell him what happened, and then they would have to admit that he'd been drowning in math. Mom would not be impressed. The spicy smell of brown stew chicken wafted out from under one of the doors and made Gerald's stomach rumble. He could hear the calls of kids playing in the gardens below over the din of the nearby traffic. They were playing soccer as usual. Gerald wouldn't be joining them. His brother Lucas had got all the athletic talent. All Gerald could do was draw electric flame or lava flow red. For the first time since Mr. Morty's class, Gerald let himself smile. The picture that got into the trouble wasn't finished. Lava flow red wouldn't be perfect for the evil soccer's eyes, and electric flame red would show off the tech in the glowing metal glove that covered his wrist. Gerald felt his shoulders relax. Thinking about drawing was almost as calming as actually drawing. He always drew the same futuristic world of towering buildings and powerful warriors, and then were the girl with the spear of light. And we didn't know where the images came from. Ever since he was little, he had the urge to draw them. Thankfully, he improved with practice. Gerald's fingers itched for his best markers once he had them. Everything else would just fade away. Hopefully his brother would be out with his friends as well. Gerald liked it best when he had the apartment to himself. He could take his drawing without Lucas telling him he was focusing on the wrong things in life. Gerald broke into a jog and stopped by the emerald green front door. He'd helped Mom choose the shade. He rummaged in his pocket for his key. No, Gerald mumbled. He patted himself down. The key wasn't there. His throat tightened as he turned out wrappers and empty pen lids out the doormat. He checked his other pocket, then the empty pocket once more. Not there. He'd lost another key. He shook his head all of a sudden, hoping his brother was home. Gerald pushed his shoulders back, lifted the door knocker, and banged it in 1, 2, then 3 rhythm. Come on, Lucas, please be in, Gerald muttered. His school bag dug into his shoulders, heavy with homework. He knocked again, still nothing. Gerald sighed, resting his forehead against the cool door. His parents were going to be so mad if they found him sitting out on the doorstep because he lost another key. He finished his battered phone out of his bag. The crack of the screen snaked across the picture of his brother's face as he lit up the call button. Lucas answered on the 10th ring. "What's up, little man?" His brother was shouting over the thumping beat of loud music on his end. "I need to get into the apartment," Gerald explained. I can't hear you," Lucas yelled. "Lucas, come home and let me in," Gerald shouted. He couldn't hear the sound of laughing even over the laughing even over the noise. Then the music died away. "Come on, guys, stop it. He's my little brother," Gerald heard his brother say, his voice a bit muffled. "Hey, Joe, can you hear me? What's up?" "I lost my key," Gerald said, just wanting the call to be over. I got plans, baby brother. I can't just drop them every time you lose a key." Lucas said, "Remember what Dad said? You got to stop daydreaming. You live in the real world, not in the pretend dream you're always drawing." That was easy for Lucas to say. He had it all figured out. He had the right friends. We were the right clothes. We fit in. Effortless. See? Gerald couldn't help wishing for the millionth time that he were as cool as Lucas, but something about him always felt awkward and out of place, except when he was drawing, when it was just him and his special world of amazing technology, swirling magic, and misfit warriors. It made him feel like he had a purpose in a way that even playing Sahurn Battle on the console didn't. Lucas tuttered in annoyance. "Gerald, I just asked you a question. Are you even gonna answer?" Gerald tailed off as moment down the walkway caught his eye. Their neighbor from 2 doors down, Miss Kemper, had stuck his head out the door and was looking his way. If he stayed here any longer, his elder neighbor would want to tell him everything that he was wrong with the world, starting with Gerald and his brother. "Okay, I get it, Lucas," Gerald replied. "Can you get home soon?" Lucas sighed. "I'll take the sticks and Dashin can call you back." "But what am I supposed to do until then?" Gerald asked. There was no answer. Lucas had hung up. Mr. Campbell had stepped into the walkway. Gerald kept the phone to his ear and pretended he was still talking to his brother. "Yep, meet you downstairs," he said into the phone as he walked past the old man. As soon as he was out of sight, Gerald shrugged off his bag and stuffed his phone back inside. He slumped down on the concrete steps of the stairwell, then rummaged inside the backpack for his workbook. Perhaps he should do his homework. His fingers touched the cool metal surface of his paper case, and he immediately had a better idea. He didn't have his special markers, but he could add some shading to the drawing of the goddess in the circuitor. 10 minutes, he told himself, just enough time to make him feel himself again, to feel in control of something. Gerald dumped into his textbooks on the step. He pulled out another folder he kept his drawings in, but didn't open it. Sitting here on the stairs, he suddenly felt so lonely that even drawings wasn't going to fix it. "But I'm not alone," Gerald mumbled. Maybe I'll go to the barber shop and see if Omar's in." His cousin always knew how to cheer him up, and he definitely wanted to see Gerald's newest drawing. Gerald hadn't seen his cousin for ages, but not since that flood had ruined his barbershop, and he had started on fixing it again. Dad said he started fixing on it again, and Dad said and Dad said they'd all be going to the grand reopening on Saturday. Gerald slid the folder into his bag, then zipped it up and jumped to his feet. He raced down the stairs and onto the street before taking the shortcut down a narrow alley to Fate's, the best barbershop this side of the river. At least Gerald thought so. Stepping inside the barbershop, he always liked stepping into another world. Like stepping into another world. People talked about everything there: sports, politics, and of course anything that was going down in the neighborhood. And his cousin Omar treated everyone special, including Gerald, as he crossed the road. Gerald could see Omar. His cousin was inside the shop, peeling off the newspaper that had been covering the windows for the last 4 weeks. Gerald had missed the music and banter at the barber shop, and there was nothing like a sharp shade up. When Gerald got out of the chair and checked himself in the mirror, he always felt 10 times taller. Gerald tapped on the glass, and his cousin came out of the shop, a huge smile on his face. "Hey, cuz." Omar bumped his fist with Gerald and then slung an arm over his shoulder. "What's good, Gerald?" he asked. "Just checking in, cuz," Gerald replied, and hated that he could hear a whisper of a crack in his voice. "Your day's been that bad, huh?" Omar scrunched up his newspaper in his hand. "Got to wait for Lucas to get home," Gerald explained. "Lost your key again?" Omar smiled before lobbing the ball of newspaper into a nearby bin. Gerald nodded. "Anything else bugging you?" Gerald shrugged. He knew he could tell Omar anything, but he felt like a pen that had dried up. He didn't want to go over what had happened in class again. He wanted something to take his mind off it. Can I see what you've done with fades?" Omar crossed his arms. "I was hoping to surprise everyone when we reopened off officially. That includes you. You have people lining up from here to the shard." Joe replied. I want to see it while it's all fresh. I promise I won't give anything before you open." Omar rubbed to the edges of his beard. "Okay, I'll let you see. Follow me." Chapter 2. That's it for today. Have a good day, guys. I'll be back soon with Chapter 2.